Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Drinks for Democracy. I am so excited to be here. My name is Alex Sujomo. I am here to start the evening off with a little cocktail because why not? Happy holidays to those who celebrate, to those who don't. We're about to drink, so don't worry about it. So tonight's cocktail is actually inspired, since this is a North Carolina themed broadcast, we are actually doing a drink that's called a cherry bounce. So a cherry bounce is the official drink of Raleigh, the capital of North Carolina, so I found on the internet. And so the origin of this drink, I'm going to start to prepare this as I tell you this story. The origin of this drink is basically back in the late 1700s, when they were looking for a building to actually build the state capitol. The commissioners went around to various tavern owners to see, who would let them have their land. The tavern owners who gave them the best cherry bounce actually was the one who got their capitol built on their property. And once you taste this, you'll see exactly why, because after, I would say, more than one of these, you might sell your land off to anyone too. So let's start it out. All right, I've got my resident bartender, Olivia, over here to help us out. So first things first, we have a slice of orange that I just went ahead and halved. I'm gonna go ahead and put that orange half right into a cocktail shaker right here. To this cocktail shaker, I'm also going to add a couple dashes of Angostura bitters. So this drink is basically a cherry bounce with a little bit of an old-fashioned flavor profile to it. So it's got that fun cherry note, but we're adding a little bit of spice to it to just kind of round out the flavor profile a little bit. So in here, we've got our orange slice, our bitters. We're going to go ahead and muddle these right up. If you don't have an actual muddler, you can use the back of a wooden spoon. You can use the bottom of a wine bottle. I mean, really whatever you have, as long as you get it done. All right, so this is nice and muddled in here. To this, I'm going to add just about 1.5 to 2 ounces of a cherry infused bourbon. So this is where the cherry bounce comes in. So back in the day, cherry bounce has been made with vodka. It's been made with brandy. I'm doing bourbon here because that's my favorite. So 1.5 ounces of bourbon right into there. We're gonna add a 1/2 ounce of brandy. All right, right in there. That might have been a little bit more than a 1/2 ounce, but hey, we're celebrating tonight. All right, so I have all of this right into here. I'm going to go ahead and add some ice. Now, we're not looking to dilute this mixture too much. We're just looking to chill it down. So just enough ice to cool it on down, just about halfway full right there. Gonna give this a few good shakes. All right, that feels great. I have a rocks glass right here. So when it comes to a drink like this, if you prefer to drink it over ice, that is completely fine. If you're anything like me, it's easier to just drink it straight. So we're going to strain this right into the glass. And depending on the size of your glass, you might have a neat pour. You might have a little extra room, depending on the ice you used. So I have a nice neat pour right here. I'm going to give myself a little bit of club soda to just top that off. And then we're going to garnish with one of these Luxardo cherries, which I also did find out that apparently this drink used to be made with moonshine in the mountains, but those cherry bounce festivals ended in violent bacchanalia. So let's see how this one turns out. All right, so cheers, everybody. I hope you have a great time tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for having me here. Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.
Incredible. Thank you, Alex. You truly are the master mixologist.
Wonderful. Thanks, Alex. All righty. Thanks, everybody, for joining. This might be our third, fourth, second and a half Drinks for Democracy. And we are so happy to be with you and happy that you joined us. Hey, this one is our happy hour for Field Team 6's mighty efforts, folks, to register Democrats in North Carolina.
And you will learn why that's of the utmost importance during the next 60 minutes or so. A cocktail hour that will be equal parts cocktail and hour.
An hour that'll be a cocktail in itself.
It's 3 parts hard politics.
A shot or two of top shelf jocularity.
Our house brand is Weisenheimer.
A spritz of North Carolina trivia.
Maybe a little dash of Mayberry.
And that's in lieu of bitters.
This will all be garnished with a surprise guest or two.
And guaranteed to wet your whistle.
Yes, that's a hint.
one of our guests whistles,
All of them hum,
you will be stirred
perhaps shaken.
and definitely refreshed.
Very good. And now, before we announce our guests, we want to cover a few housekeeping items. At the bottom of your Zoom screen is a chat button. Please click that to open up your chat window where links will be posted throughout the event, and you can always comment. For anyone new to Zoom, it's a good idea to choose the speaker view, make your Zoom full screen. Any questions for our guest speakers? Please put them in the chat and write the word ask in capital letters before it so we can see them. All right, now on to the good stuff, Dad.
Tonight, folks, we're so grateful to have some very special guests. We have Jeff Jackson, the Democratic North Carolina State Senator, running to flip the U.S. Senate seat held by retiring Republican Richard Burr. We're also joined by Michelle Antelec, first vice chair of the Henderson County Democratic Party and a member of the State Executive Committee for the North Carolina Democratic Party. And we're extremely excited to have North Carolina native, incredible talent, Bellamy Young with us tonight. I got to be a castmate, you guys, in awe of Bellamy as she triumphed for 7 indelible seasons as the beloved Mellie Grant on ABC's Scandal. Bellamy is currently shooting on ABC's upcoming series, Promised Land. Now, you've got your special North Carolina cocktail in hand. We'd like you to keep your other hand near your checkbook or computer mouse so you can click us a donation via ActBlue whenever and however often the feeling hits you tonight.
You may even want to invest $1 or $2 on a chance to win this really sweet raffle item. Now, this is something that we have been raffling tickets for this is the 3rd event we have had, and we have had some awesome people buy some awesome raffle tickets to win this collector item from Young Sheldon. It is your very own pair of Young Sheldon Chuck Taylors that are signed by our wonderful cast. And on it, you'll see there's a little map of Texas with a little heart that has Young Sheldon written in there. And Texas was, well, it's where the show is set, but it is also our first state that we held of these fundraisers. And so it was fitting to begin it there. Now, please purchase a raffle ticket so you can win these. Okay, on to the fact that it is my special honor, Field Team 6's honor, to welcome the singular talent, Eric Gilliland. He is a friend. He is a television producer. He is a writer. He is a podcaster. Check out Cinnamon Bear Podcast, wherever you find your podcasts. And
Audible.
Thank you very much. Audible for everyone who didn't hear that.
Yeah.
And most importantly, he's a master whistler. And he's about to follow that age-old Lauren Bacall, how to just put your lips together and blow. To kick us off, he's going to be whistling a very special song. It's not officially the North Carolina anthem, but it definitely kind of is. Eric, whenever you're ready, my friend.
Ready. Boink.
Oh!
Thank you. That was absolutely wonderful, Eric.
Thanks.
And
I have not had anything to drink yet, so well, pretty good.
oh, well, everyone stick around because we're going to have Eric get a drink. You all should get a drink. And if our friend is available, he will join us again, maybe for a Name That Tune.
In honor of the Carolinas.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. We look forward to that later.
Right.
All right. So now to introduce Field Team 6 and their plans for North Carolina.
Oh, wait, Zoe.
Oh, sorry.
Wait. No, a little Eric moment. That when you drop in the chat, in the Name That Tune, you're gonna guess at what Eric is whistling, but don't. So you're not gonna suggest tunes, like I like big butts or something like that. You're gonna guess what Eric is whistling. Okay, go ahead, Zoe.
Okay, so now to introduce
big butts now, rats.
Well, maybe
No, we didn't take it away. I guess you could do it, buddy, as a freebie.
It lends itself to whistling so well. So no.
And now to introduce Field Team 6 and their plans for North Carolina, it is the founder, Jason Berlin.
Hello, everyone. I am Jason Berlin, founder of Field Team 6. And I want to, first of all, thank you all for saving the world. If you haven't heard that before, you should have, because everyone who has been an activist, who's contributed any amount of activism, any amount of thrown a few hours on the pile that turned into that cathedral of activism that just saved the world, you're responsible for that. I would love it if everyone would put in the chat how long you've been an activist for. And if you just started today, amazing. We need reinforcements. Thank you. I'm sure for some of you, it's been years or even your whole life. And thank you for that. You are the giants on whose shoulders we stand now to push things forward more. Thank you for that. I was a TV writer for 18 years, and then Trump got elected, and I had to change my life. So I quit doing that, went broker than usual for the next 4 years, went from volunteering to organizing, which is just volunteering, but more so, and helped rally an army of volunteers who registered thousands of Democrats, who helped flip 5 swing districts in Southern California in the Blue Wave 2018 midterms, the first time all of you here, I'm sure, helped save the world. Right after that, my job ended with the party, which is when I founded Field Team 6, so that we didn't have to break up the band, and so that we could see how this passionate group of volunteers could, how much good trouble we could get into in swing states across the country, on a bigger scale in the battle of 2020. Last year, I'm super proud to say that despite the global pandemic, we were able to reach out to over 15 million people and help register almost 3 million Democrats in swing states across the country. Those Democrats, about 75% are women, young people, and people of color. And they helped us keep the House, take back the White House, depose the fast food fascists, and in 1,000,000-to-1 Death Star shot, win the Georgia runoffs and get 2 Democratic senators who gave us control of the Senate. That's saving the world. That's not a minor miracle. That's a major miracle. 2 seats from Georgia. So we just have to remember that as we now try to save the world again. You're all here because democracy, despite all these wins, hangs by a thread. That's why Field Team 6's strategy for the next year, for these 2022 midterms, is save the Senate, save the House, win down ballot. In North Carolina in 2020, we reached out to, let me get this right, over 416,000 people, and we helped register over 105,000 to vote as Democrats. By the midterms, our goal is to add more than 50,000 new Democrats to the rolls in North Carolina. Here's what makes Field Team 6 different. We specialize in the birth of a Democrat, getting people over that highest hurdle and adding more Democrats to the rolls, specifically in swing states and districts, which is the #1 most direct way to change the balance of power and win elections. We are, unlike the vast majority of voter registration orgs, we are proudly partisan. We're always respectful and polite, but we also might wear a Biden-Harris shirt or an Obama sweatshirt or a Democrat's hat. And that is an amazing Republican repellent and what it means. And we do the same thing with, just screening sentences, in all our digital outreach. Can we register you as a Democrat today? Little things like that ensure that we're registering almost 100% Democrats and progressive independents. Because we are partisan, we canvass while we register voters. So we don't just register people, but we can also tell those new voters the names of candidates to vote for, Jeff Jackson, and election dates coming up and what Democrats stand for. We can give them that little bit of education that makes a huge difference. We do voter drives digitally and in person. We have a unique database among organizations of over 15 million contacts, the vast majority of whom are eligible voters who are likely Democrats in swing states. That's what we use for all our outreach. We also have in-person voter drives. And in answer to the confounding question, how do I hold a voter drive? It seems daunting, right? We've answered that question with our voter drive in a box, which I will show you right here. Here is our website. That's the home screen. Just scroll down, voter drive in a box, click on the state you like, North Carolina, and here it is on one page, everything you need to run your own voter drive. And that can be, it's all here. We fit it all on one page, all these links, including links to live trainings, links to video trainings, links to a 7-page manual, very short. We try to make everything we do easy, fun, and effective. And so that is not available anywhere else on the internet, voter drive in a box like that. So here's how you can help register more Democrats in North Carolina. In-person voter drives. You can hold one or sign up for a live training call, so you can hold one after that. And a voter drive can be as simple as you and a friend going to a community college on your lunch break. That counts. Phone banks. We have phone banks you can join. We have postcard parties. We have BYOP, text banking, which is our free version of texting, where you use your own BYOP, bring your own phone. It actually bring your own phone plan. So a lot of people have unlimited data. You can use that. And it's an alternative to the super expensive texting, which we also do, but we can't do it as frequently because it's expensive, which brings me to the last way you can help, which is donating. So if you can help in any of those ways or all of them, fantastic. That's what's going to get us there. Choose your weapon, find the thing you like best, get good at it, and let's make history next November by winning everything there is to win.
So Jason, the question that you want to ask, it's yes. The answer is yes. So you may go right into your introduction.
Okay. That I don't know what question you're talking about, though.
Is Jeff Jackson on the line?
Is Jeff Jackson on the line? Oh yes, I knew he was. I'm going to toss it right back to the other Jeff. Jeff Perry,
Okay.
to do the honors.
Mr. Jackson, this is Jeff Perry. It is my honor to introduce you, our very special guest. Jeff Jackson was no stranger to public service when he was elected to the North Carolina State Senate in 2014, after enlisting in the Army after September 11th and serving in Afghanistan. Jeff is in his 18th year of military service. He's earned a law degree. He's gone on to serve as the Assistant District Attorney in Gaston County. These experiences contributed to his commitment to public education, economic development, mental health care, and criminal justice reform. Jeff has passionately led the fight against gerrymandering, and he continues to fight for increased pay for teachers as well as expanding Medicaid. Is there any more important job these days? No, maybe one, and that's why Jeff Jackson is currently running to flip the U.S. Senate seat held by retiring Republican Richard Burr. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Jackson.
Thank you, Jeff. I had, just to be totally candid with all of you up front, no idea what to expect from this meeting. I received a very short description from my campaign manager about what I was walking into. I heard Field Team 6 and I thought, well, that's pretty clever. I'll check. I'm a military guy. I appreciate that. I'll check this thing out. And then I sign on to this Zoom and I see Jeff Perry. I see Bellamy Young. I'm like, holy shit. Okay, this is like a real thing here. Hey, y'all, I love everything that I've heard. Jason, I heard your entire rundown of everything you did last cycle in my state. Thank you. Thank you to all of your members. For those of you who listen to those numbers and you're not sure what a sense of scale is, the number of voters that your organization contacted dramatically exceeded the entire margin of victory for our Democratic governor, our Democratic Attorney General, our Democratic Secretary of State, basically every statewide, all the judges that won statewide, crucially. But for my purposes, the governor's race was the really important one. I'm in the minority party, of course, because of gerrymandering in the state Senate. And the only way we have any influence over healthcare or teacher pay is by sustaining the governor's veto. Does me no good to have a Republican governor. So the fact that you all helped us make sure we have a Democratic governor means his veto can be sustained, stopped all the bad stuff. No more HB2, no more anti-LGBTQ legislation. And now we have real leverage in negotiating a budget. We got teachers a record raise this year with that leverage, did a bunch of other good things for broadband. So anyway, y'all's organization played a really important role because in North Carolina, we don't do landslides. When Democrats win here, it's by like 2 votes. So please do what y'all, I don't know what state all of you are in, but I can guess. Just from the general vibe here, I can guess from the mixologist that led this thing off, I can guess. All right. Y'all gonna be fine. Y'all gonna be, that recall, that turned out to be smoke and mirrors. Y'all gonna be fine. All right. You need to help. We got 3 real states we got a chance to flip them. All right. No bullshit. Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina. Second tier, that's Ohio and Florida. And God bless them. We all want Ohio and Florida to come through. We all want them. That's tier 2. That's tier 2. Tier 1, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina. Y'all want to pass some real criminal justice legislation, some real climate change legislation, some real immigration legislation. Most of the agenda exists when we flip 2 of those 3. We need 2 of those 3 to go from a reconciliation agenda to a reform agenda. That's what really delivers on the promise of a Democratic legislature, a Democratic government. Is we need, as it turns out, 2 more. Hey, I didn't even think we were going to go get those seats in Georgia. Like Jason described that as a major miracle. I think that's a perfect phrase. I'm delighted that we were able to do that. As it turns out, y'all, we need 2 more. And one of them is going to be here. There's just no doubt about it. And I don't want to take up too much of the microphone. I have no idea what the run of show is here, but y'all seem very capable, so I put myself in your hands.
Jeff, thank you so much. Oh, so informative. Okay, we know what we got to do. 2 of those 3 states. Well, let's get all 3. All right. Who is up next, you guys? I've lost track.
Well, we do have a couple of minutes here. Jeff, I think Jeff Jackson, just to be clear, not Jeff Perry. I believe that you have a hard out here in just a few minutes. So we'd like to open it up to questions. If there's any questions that you'd like to put in the chat, I haven't seen any go by. If somebody wants to tag me, we will do that. But if you have any questions, now's your chance. And we'll treat this like a radio show. So only a few seconds of silence will mean that we don't have any questions at this point. Jason probably has one.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Jason.
Thank you so much for that. And really great to hear it put so clearly, moving us from a reconciliation agenda to a reform agenda. That's everything. That's everything. 2 votes can get a Democrat elected. 2 votes in the Senate can do a whole lot more. I know that Cal Cunningham, unfortunately, lost
Who?
by 1.8.
Who?
I'm sorry.
I'm not familiar. I'm not
Yeah, I'm
familiar. This is another person who ran for office. And
I think he sells used cars in Orange County, doesn't he?
Sorry, I'm sorry. But despite everything,
Watch that.
he
last
lost
step.
by only 1.8 points to Tom spelled wrong Tillis. I thought it was time for Thom to go. But so I'll just to ask, how are you? I know there's so many rural areas. How are you reaching out to rural voters and getting to them?
Well, first of all, let me say I get a lot of marriage advice in this campaign. I get a lot of conversations that are like, "You seem like such a nice young man. There's just one more thing I'd like to ask you," and then it always has the word "pants" somewhere in it. So I'm like an encyclopedia of pants-based questions at this point. I've heard every variation on that particular phrase. Everything is fine at home, ladies and gentlemen. So the question is the most important one that you could ask. So we've got 80 rural counties. Out of 100, 80 of them are rural. We have the second largest rural population of any state in the country. Texas is 1 and North Carolina is 2. So what we've done is try to make this a genuine 100 county campaign. It hasn't been done in a long time. And added to that, we said we were going to hold an open town hall in every single county in the state, and we've done it. We've held 140 open town halls where anybody can come and ask any question, where I told them in advance where I was going to be and when I was going to be there. No screening of anybody. And then anybody got to come. And we had a wonderful turnout. Michelle is here from Henderson County. That's as red as it gets. Michelle, we had 200 people at that event in your county. That ain't normal for over a year out for someone who's not the incumbent and a Democrat in your red county. And it was just like that all through the state. As it turns out, when you show up out of good faith and a genuine willingness to listen to people, they meet you where you are. And it's amazing how much disagreement people will tolerate when they can sense it's coming from a place of good faith, a place of sincerity. That gets in under the Fox News radar, it gets in under the misinformation. Ultimately, it's not just about good policies, although we talk a lot about water and sewer now, frankly, having been to all of these counties, really important in rural North Carolina. It's about misinformation. How do you beat misinformation? It's not with a fact check. It's by giving people a sense of who you are as a person. Roy Cooper is our governor and is the top vote getter in every one of his elections, because when they run ads against him that say Roy Cooper is a radical socialist, what happens is grandma and grandpa see those ads sitting on the couch at home and they go, yeah, probably not. That's not the vibe we get from him. And that probably not, that's the entire margin of victory in a state like us. So I got to go out there. I got to be in every county multiple times so that when they run those ads, people say, actually, Jeff's been here and he didn't strike us that way. And that's most of what a real campaign is in a misinformation environment, personalizing it, localizing it. And it sounds easy, but it's just a ton of legwork, man.
Cynthia asks, can North Carolinians vote by mail?
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. Bellamy asks, how's the best way we can help you, Jeff?
Bellamy, if you don't follow me on Twitter after this conversation, listen, my mother has not been impressed by.
Follow you anywhere.
You know how hard it is to impress my mom? Okay, look, I served with special operations in Afghanistan. All right. I came home and I go to law school on the GI Bill, and then I become an assistant DA. Then I joined the state Senate. None of this means anything to her. But if you followed me on Twitter, that would mean something to my mom. And it would also help us win to election for reasons I can't get into right now. They're very technical, but would be decisive in a general election context.
I'm doing it now. I'm doing it now.
This whole meeting was just worth it.
Okay.
Tell your mama I love her and Merry Christmas.
I will. Her name's Janet Jackson, by the way.
No way. Of course it is.
When we send emails from her, the open rate is 100%.
But,
use what you got, baby. Use what you've got.
okay, Mary has the last question for us. You get a lot of credit for social media. Please describe how you have achieved a presence there and what you do.
Quite accidentally, I've developed the second largest social media following of any Democrat in the state. And it's just because I couldn't hire someone to do it for me. So I had to do it myself. And as it turns out, people really like that. They get a sense of whether it's the actual person doing the social media, like all the typos, they're all mine, but people like that. There's just a sense of we can actually trust that what you're telling us is what's happening in real time. People really like, believe it or not, the posts we do that are viewed the most and shared the most are long form, like 7 or 8 paragraphs. Here's what's happening right now with your state government or your state legislature. Pictures of my kids, not so much. Videos of me doing fun stuff, not so much. You wouldn't think, because we all think cat pictures are what people, no. What people really want, what hundreds of thousands of people will view is here's what's no bullshit happening in your state legislature right now. And because I've been doing that for 7 years, I can reach a whole lot of people. We can reach more people than subscribe to every newspaper in the state combined.
Got it.
Wonderful. Okay, so concludes our Q&A.
Thank you so much. Awesome. Go.
Thank you all. Really enjoyed it. Thank you for helping us contribute to this organization that I didn't know existed until last week, but I'm now totally sold on.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Jeff.
I'm going to throw this back to Zoe.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. And thank you, Dale and Jason. Okay. One more reminder. Chuck Taylor's, buy your raffle ticket. Thank you. And now with tonight's official North Carolina top 10 list, here is Field Team 6, Dale Roy Robinson.
Oh, I wasn't ready. Okay. The top 10 things North Carolinians can't say no to. Number 10, sweet tea. Is there any other kind? 9, the UNC Duke rivalry. Although clearly the better team is. Number 8. Number 8 is a tie between the Blue Ridge Mountains in the fall and pig pickins. Number 7, speaking of picking, there's picking and grinning. That's bluegrass, y'all. And my uncle is a bluegrass player, so love the bluegrass. Number 6, Krispy Kreme donuts, which should be listed as a Schedule 1 narcotic. Maybe that should be number 1. Number 5, insider trading. Senator Richard Burr asked us to include this one. Number 4, fighting over the best barbecue, ketchup-based or vinegar-based. It seems obvious that to me, clearly, the better barbecue is ketchup-based. I mean, vinegar-based. Number 3, chow chow, a pickled vegetable relish, not the wrinkly puffball dog breed. Although if you put this relish on their food, you are technically putting chow chow on chow chow chow. Number 2, NASCAR, featuring an Earnhardt I may or may not be named after. And number 1, the number 1 thing North Carolinians cannot say no to is registering new Democrats before the midterm.
Yay! That is correct.
Back to
Okay.
you, Zoe and Jeff.
Thank you, Dale. Somebody write to Mr. Jeff Jackson and tell him that Bellamy held up. He was busy answering a question, but she held up proof that she just followed him on Twitter.
Oh, I'm sure he knows. I think he's already looked at his Twitter.
Him and his mama. You can't stop me. You can't stop me.
Bellamy, you made this legit for Jeff Jackson, and you make it legit for us in our hearts always. You beautiful, talented North Carolinian goddess.
Thanks, girl. I'll claim Tar Heel, whatever. I tried to wear my blue tonight to represent. So what? Sorry. Everybody, I know teams are hard, but I was raised on Chapel Hill.
Bellamy, it's so good to see you. Bellamy and I, folks, got to be together for the better part of 7 years as castmates in Scandal. I got to watch in awe of her brilliance. And a daughter of North Carolina. Darlin, do you have any memories of, first voting or early voting or wherever politics kind of took center stage?
Oh my goodness, Jeffy, I do. And I just want to thank everybody, Jason, everybody, Jeffy, Joe, Zoe, Jeff Jackson. Oh my God. So excited. Want to see Michelle in a minute. Just excited for the night. I remember growing up, we were like a diehard House of Democrats, but I just remember going into the booth with my dad, like the sanctity of the booth, right? The lines weren't like they are today. Like, I feel like we had a little better handle on it in the 70s and the 80s, but you go in the booth and I was holding his hand, you know, like, and he'd pull the curtain and you were just by yourself in there. And I, you know, sort of had an idea, like just a visual idea of Washington that was really just like stairs, like marble stairs. And so I just remember feeling like what we were gonna do just alone in this little cubicle was going straight up those stairs. Like, it just felt so magical, you know? And I feel like I got a little lazy about it. My college years, got a little disenfranchised, maybe is a better way to say it. And always voted. I'm Pisces, like I'm year of the dog, like we are dutiful creatures. But I wasn't as engaged, and Scandal really brought that back to me, Jeffy. The way the way Washington opened its arms to us and reminded me that it's just real people making vitally important decisions, and that, you know, we the people, we are democracy. If we don't participate, the whole thing crumbles. And of course, for me and my politics and my beliefs and hopes and dreams for the country, it's been a hard, you know, bit of time. What I define as progress, I never thought I'd see it, you know, go backwards in my lifetime. So I am so grateful to have been re-indoctrinated. And so grateful, you know, I love what you guys are doing. Thank you for taking the time. And Field Team 6, you ass kickers for registering all these people. And like Jeff said, you know, I mean, your numbers are amazing just on their own, but tiny little numbers change elections, tiny little numbers in different little states and different little counties and different little pockets, and they move mountains. So thank you.
Oh, Bellamy, thank you, honey. Thank you so much. Yeah, I got involved with Field Team 6 because I got such a tangible hit of really just a few people who run it day in and day out, but hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of people who kick in activism hours and activism dollars. And it is a small but mighty, punching above their weight organization where all of the work and all of the dollars go into registering Democrats. So it is great. Okay, here's the thing.
What?
Field Team 6 has one of its great active volunteers is on our screen, and his name is Don Foster. And he shares the unfortunate disease of coming from television writing as well. But a full-fledged deep dive into political activism are many of his recent years. Anyway, Don's going to do a little bit of North Carolina trivia time. And Bellamy, if you're able to stay with us, you're drafted along with our audience and really anybody on the panel for this trivia time where you're our celebrity contestant, Miss Bellamy.
I'm very excited. Thanks.
We've got a North Carolina ringer in this.
Well, we'll see. Here's
All right.
the end of the long lead.
Oh, Bellamy, I'm glad you're flying your colors. I'm flying my Mayberry colors here.
Oh my God.
This whole room is meant to be some kind of like evidence from a bad lawyer of not crazy. It's not crazy to have this much Andy of Mayberry stuff. It's not crazy to have little tiny pictures of Andy Griffith inside the name Andy. That's not crazy. That's not crazy. You found a Barney Fife stuff.
Don,
You see
wow.
right here, not crazy. In fact, what just hit the floor here is a blueprint of Mayberry, done shot by shot, little house by little house, laid out all the way from Rafe Hollister's farm right to Wally's filling station.
I know that map.
Done. There it is. Eric Gilliland may have this map. Mark Bennett, a postal worker, that's how he went postal, is he watched, this was before VHS, he watched the shows, and one by one, he, here we go. We see the big tree. I'm putting the big tree in. And guys like Eric and I bought them. So, so there you go. So I'm not going to go any farther, but.
And we still have friends. We had friends.
There's a little
For the most
club.
part.
There's a little club. We all meet at Howard Sprague's at his bachelor party.
So boring. That party.
One last thing, just in case you're worried. No, this is not a hard-boiled egg slicer from Aunt Bee's kitchen. It's not. So, well, okay, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I'm a little crazy. What? Right? All right. But so all of this could be Mayberry trivia. All of this could be Mayberry trivia.
Are you willing to auction it off for the benefit of Field Team 6?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking one of these items, we're going to have to put our thinking caps on and see, right?
Yes.
Should it be one of Aunt Bee's pickle jars here in the back? And Aunt Bee, certificate of
Such bad
authenticity.
pickles. There's such bad pickles.
What?
Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming.
Christmas is coming, folks. It depends. If somebody's got like $100 in their pocket, we're going to talk. We're going to talk. For Christmas time, I don't know if somebody might want the tailor's house in miniature form.
Oh.
My big eye looking into Opie's room. Not creepy, not crazy. That's my point. we need to play a little non-Mayberry North Carolina trivia. We can come back to Mayberry. That's what Mayberry does, right? Opens its arm. You can always come back to Mayberry.
Return to Mayberry.
But here you go. Here are a few just straight out North Carolina questions. I think a lot of people can get them. You know, we'll see. I'm going to start kind of easy. I'm watching Bellamy. She'll tell me if these are easy or hard. What level? Intermediate, advanced, then I'll bring it down. All right. So this first question is, one of these famous and beloved books was not set in North Carolina. Not set. Cold Mountain, Look Homeward Angel, The Notebook, Bastard Out of Carolina, or Where the Crawdads Sing. Just getting a little bit. Okay, on that, good. Bellamy's going kind of intermediate. That's where I was trying to go. The one not, Bastard Out of Carolina. See, because that was South
Eric
Carolina.
was like, too easy. I knew it. I was
Too easy.
South Carolina. Well,
Oh
Bellamy,
man.
another word for South Carolina is not Carolina.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Oh, I would have gotten that wrong because the movie adaptation of Bastard Out of Carolina was shot in North Carolina.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
That's deep knowledge, though.
Yeah.
Good night,
See?
nurse.
Too much knowledge is not good for the trivia game.
Yeah.
I think we're going to learn this. You need that sweet spot. You need to recognize words, and that's about it. All right. Here it is. Second question, very quickly. One of these big companies, all right, big nationwide global companies, was not conceived and founded in North Carolina. Okay? Get a load of this. R.J. Reynolds Tobacco, Wrangler Jeans, Hanes Underwear, Krispy Kreme Donuts, Popeye's Chicken, Pepsi Cola, Putt Putt Golf, Butterball Turkeys. I'm just going to let that sink in because that's kind of like a dream weekend for me.
I was gonna say that alone. I don't know. We have to break that list up because that was like,
Right? Isn't it? There's something about North Carolina where all that and only one of them does not belong, and it's so warm.
God
and
bless.
Yummy.
it's-
All is yummy.
Oh, flannelly corduroy.
I don't know what the right answer is, but can you say butterball turkeys again for me?
Oh,
And then putt golf.
golf. It's all I could do after Hanes underwear and Krispy Kreme donuts, not to say Krispy Kreme underwear. Best product ever. Anyway, answer, folks. If you don't have do we not have a winner?
don't know.
Butterball is a smart answer. Butterball is a thinking man's answer.
I'm thinking putt golf.
I was thinking, I wouldn't have even thought of putt as a company. I don't know. I don't know. I thought it was
Right.
That's how I
Putt golf. Putt golf was developed in 1954 by Don Clayton in Fayetteville, North Carolina,
It's
because
Fayetteville, Dawn. All right, let's be real. It's Fayetteville. Don't over
Because
the
it
word.
was Fayetteville. It was Fayetteville. But because he didn't think everybody wanted all the gee-goo with the windmills of miniature golf. Simplify the sport. Simplify the sport.
Simplify it. If you can't play that sport with one of those hats that holds 2 beers and 2 straws, it's too much exertion.
So the answer, oddly, Popeye's chicken.
All right, I buy it.
Okay.
Is Popeyes Northern?
Abigail got that
Popeyes
in the
is
chat.
Georgia. Popeyes is Georgia.
That's right.
Abigail
got
Cross.
that.
Nailed it.
Abigail got it. Abigail got the answer.
Abigail.
Don't mess with Abigail.
There's a
Abigail's
ringer.
from
All right.
Country.
Last question here.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a little background on this one, Bellamy and folks here. Well, Bellamy knows that in 1893 in New Bern, North Carolina, a drugstore clerk named Caleb Bradham invented a refreshing little beverage, which he originally called Brad's Drink. Now, there's a parallel world
Dumb name.
where folks take a thing called the Bradley Challenge. But on this plane, Brad actually renamed his product, this syrupy concoction, Pepsi, because the word was associated. So this has a second level because the word was associated with this beverage and this word he wanted to meld. He based the name of the beverage Pepsi on this word. And what word was that? Peppermint, peppy, pepsin, paprika, dyspepsia, or pepperoni, because nothing goes better with a pepperoni pizza than Pepsi.
What is
Dyspepsia.
dyspepsia?
Pepsi.
Everybody's on it.
Yeah.
Dyspepsia.
Yeah.
Because it cures
Make your
dyspepsia
belly- yeah.
rather than cause it.
Yeah.
We got some winners. We got some winners on dyspepsia there.
Oh, I didn't
I
write
was
it.
truly hoping this story was going somewhere towards cheer wine, just because that was my childhood.
Oh, darn it. Darn it. Well, I think
Next time.
I think we went from intermediate to advanced to beginner level with the questions. I'm learning. But if we've got anybody with like $100 donation in the chat in this thing, we're talking one of these lovely, it's the pickle jar. It's the egg slicer.
Whose
It's
mama
the
wants to slice eggs like Aunt Bee? Somebody needs that for Christmas time.
That's right.
Squeeze a
Listen to
lemon,
Bellamy.
slow and sexy. Slow and sexy like Aunt Bee. Right?
We
here, no
will-
extra sugar.
And we will get it to you before the deadline. You
The
know,
mama
you're
egg slicer. I saw it in the chat.
Oh yeah, Rebecca's in for the egg
Rebecca.
slicer.
Hell yes. Rebecca, you're a good gift.
We have a winner. We have a winner. And now this is it. That's it. I know we got to move along. This is just gloating. Autograph picture to me from the lovely Betty Lynn. Thelma Lou, one of my best friends in high school, sang in the church choir with Betty Lynn, Thelma Lou, until Betty Lynn was 90. So there you go. Sweet. God rest her soul. Just passed
Perfect.
away. Nobody's getting this. The rest of the town is up for grabs.
Wow.
Cool.
Back to you, Zoe.
Don, wow.
This was incredible. I am a big fan of our Don Foster hosted trivia. Bellamy, thank you for being a wonderful participant. Thank you all for participating. I will take this opportunity once more to say, put some requests for Don merch in the chat and also buy a raffle ticket. And I would like to remind everyone that we are going to have our special whistling guest, Eric Gilliland, join us shortly. But right now, what I would like to do is introduce Michelle Antelec, the first vice chair of the Henderson County Democratic Party and a member of the state executive committee for the North Carolina Democratic Party. Michelle, thank you so much for being here. And may I ask, what is it like to be on the front lines of this battle?
Quite honestly, it is a lot of fun for one thing, and I'm already loving this opportunity to talk with you guys. Where do I ever get a warm-up band like Jeff Jackson? I mean, how wonderful is that? He did come to Henderson County, and we were very happy to see him here. He had a big crowd. I think he was overwhelmed with the crowd he had because we are a turning purple county. I would say that. We've managed to elect about 5 new Democratic officers in Henderson County in the last election, and we're very pleased with that. One of the things I want to talk about is how important it is for somebody like me to have people like you guys out there registering Democrats, because we a lot of times hit brick walls when we're trying to get into facilities such as the mall or even the farmers market when it comes to registering people, because they don't want a political party there. So what we have to do is do registration at events that we're sponsoring or friends of ours are sponsoring. And we really try very hard to get as many people to register, because like you say, if we've got Democrats that can vote, it does make a massive difference, especially in a state like North Carolina, where 2 votes does matter, 20 votes can matter. It can be very, very close. So it's very important for us to have people like you guys, like the League of Women Voters out there registering and not hitting the brick walls that we have to when people say, you know, we really are not sure we want to have a political party in our facility asking people to register. So that's one of our concerns that we fight, and we're really glad to have you all here. What we tend to do too is not only do people get to register in North Carolina through means like Field Team 6 and League of Women Voters, but we also get to register when you sign up for a driver's license. And so kids that are in high school sign up for their driver's license, and they also register to vote at the same time, but they forget. So we're out there reminding them that what's important is now you're registered, now you need to do something with that. And it's probably one of the most important things you'll ever do is get to vote as a US citizen. So we do a lot of reminding people that we are here, and voting for Democrats is the only way to go if you want to be on the right side of history. And so what we have to do is get out there and make our presence known and invite people into the party and let them understand what our goals are and how we are for the people, and we actually get things done. So that's a big part of my job, is getting people out there to understand how important it is to vote, not only just to register, which is a major part of it, but also vote once you're registered, and reminding people that we need every vote we can get. And I think it's really important that we have people like you out there and that are willing to take the time, the effort, and put all your treasures and talents behind registering people to vote. Anybody have any questions for me?
Jason has a question.
I do. I'm thrilled that you're here. Thank you so much for being here and for doing this incredibly important work in one of the most important places in the country to do it. Yeah, what are you on the ground? How do you feel about, like, what issues are most important to people where you are? what like hits a chord the most, whether it's like, you know, healthcare or climate change or yeah, what do you think?
You know, we live in an incredibly beautiful part of the country. And so climate change is definitely ringing a lot of people's bells. I would say affordable housing, a living wage is very important here because we have a lot of people in the tourist industry and they can't afford to live here. You know, if you're a server, it's very hard to pay an $1,800 one bedroom or two bedroom rent. And that's what it, you know, that doesn't sound like much to you guys from California or New York, but it's huge here. So I'd say the climate is a big part of it, especially for younger people. There's a lot of activism around that. We've actually done some climate seminars that we put together and well attended. People are very concerned about that, but I have to believe that living wage and healthcare and affordable housing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what you're seeing here in Hendersonville.
That's really helpful. That's really helpful. You know, we can't be everywhere. So that's why we are very conscientious about taking the lead from people like you, the heroes on the ground who know your area better than we ever will. So that's really helpful.
Well, we definitely appreciate having you guys out there too, because you can actually pick out people to register that look and act and feel like Democrats. And when we're out there, we have to register anybody and everybody. And that's part of the charge, but that's the way it goes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. There are workarounds too, for when you have to be inside a building and have to be technically nonpartisan. You can have signs that say things like, help us fight for women's rights or civil rights, or, you know, to combat the climate crisis, things that are going to attract Democrats, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anything that supports people and working people out there is going to attract a Democrat. You've got that right.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Oh my God. Between Michelle and Jeff, holy shit, it's a no-brainer. We're hopping on the next plane. We're heading out.
Well, come on down.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much. By not popular, but peculiar demand, we are bringing back Eric Gilliland, the Whistler, my fellow Mayberry nerd. Here he is, a little thing we're going to call Stump the Audience.
Is that what we're calling it? That's not what I called it.
What?
I was told to do name that tune.
Let's do it.
And I've got two from artists from North Carolina. And I'm going to whistle, and I don't know how this works. What do people put in the chat? Like what it is?
So, guesses in the chat.
Type in your guesses
and
in the
what
chat.
the song and who the artist is, the North Carolinian.
Okay.
That's the.
So if
the
someone
hook.
scores the song and the artist first, this quasi autograph picture of every character actor to ever play on Andy of Mayberry.
There are three of those, right?
What?
One for the winners and one for the performer.
The performer.
What's
I
that
have
picture
a-
you have of?
I have a jigger that was on my treasured Andy of Mayberry Bible.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Third runner. Okay.
Great.
Good.
Okay. Ready?
Number one.
Anyone?
We
Yeah.
got some guesses in the chat. We
We
don't
got
have
some
an
good
artist yet.
guests. A lot of Roberta Flack. You're getting a lot of Roberta Flack.
Yeah,
Boom.
Roberta
Tell me
Flack.
softly.
Yeah. I
Bellamy
don't see
got
the
it.
chats. Oh, there. Oh, I scrolled down. Yeah. Killing Me Softly. Yes, indeed. Roberta Flack.
There were so many
Who was
right
the first one in?
answers.
Was
I didn't
Bellamy
feel it
Young the
first.
first
Oh, I
one
should have
in?
stopped singing. I went on to. I'm sorry. I should have stopped when some guessed it right.
Oh, I was just drifting off to my happy place there. It was so beautiful. I didn't want to interrupt it.
I think
felt
you're
like
right. I think Bellamy was the first to
No,
enter.
she got it. She got it for sure.
both
That's Bellamy's.
Roberta Flack and the song.
Yep, both.
Boom.
Right
Bang
on.
and bang.
Cool.
I knew we brought in a ringer. Roberta
And-
Flack.
And one more. It's a more seasonal.
We have a guess in the we have a guess in the
And-
chat.
Oh, we do. And we have winning guess.
Santa baby, Eartha Kitt.
Winning guess. Carolinian
Whoa!
Eartha Kitt.
Yes.
She's a Carolinian, which is crazy to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
All
love
right,
it.
that's
Eartha
Kala wins.
Kitt, North Carolinian, right? Carolinian, sharecropper's daughter, multilinguist, Catwoman.
Worked with her once, handshake like a vice grip.
Yes. Eric, fucking amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Those were
You
awesome.
guys, you
What a
guys are
concert.
great. This whole thing is fantastic. Thanks for letting me play along.
I think Zoe, we're kicking it back to you while we bundle up the gifts for the winners.
And the performer.
And the and the
Eric, thank you so much. Incredible as always. Thank you for everyone who put in a guess. You all did fantastic. And now I would love to introduce our next guest.
Would it be Corey Alpert?
It would be Corey Alpert.
Oh, let's do it.
I've got that, Zoe, if you want.
Yeah, my dad will be handing it off to Corey, please.
Okay, folks, please meet Corey Alpert, the chief strategist and data guru for Field Team 6, with the strategy and the tactics that can help flip North Carolina blue in 22.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jeff. And I'm dialing in as the resident South Carolinian here. So thanks everyone for joining in to help our neighboring state. So to give you all a bit of background on the data that we have in North Carolina, we have nearly 1 million unregistered likely Democrats in North Carolina that we can still reach out to and help get registered ahead of their registration deadline that's coming up early in 2022. It's the second deadline that we'll come up with. So we have more than 900,000 people we can send postcards to. We can email more than 300,000. We can call 800,000. We can text 694,041 people. There are 3 swing districts coming up in North Carolina. We have North Carolina 2, which is G.K. Butterfield's seat, but he's retiring. That's a D+2 seat. We have NC4, which is sort of just outside of Raleigh. And then NC14, which is Madison Cawthorn's seat, which has become significantly more purple. And then we also have 3 blue seats outside of Charlotte, Raleigh, and then the Durham Chapel Hill area. And we have places, Roy Cooper, the Democratic governor of North Carolina, has shown us the roadmap for how to win all across North Carolina, as Jeff Jackson mentioned, by running up the score in places like Greensboro, Charlotte, the Research Triangle, which is Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill, and Asheville. In Bellamy, my adopted family is actually from just west of Asheville. So luckily I can claim both states just a little bit. But we've seen the roadmap for how to win in North Carolina. We're going to be reaching out to folks all across the state to help get them registered to vote and get them registered to vote all across the state, from the foothills, the Appalachians, all the way out to Wilmington and the barrier islands. So we are incredibly excited to do this work, and thank you all so much for joining us.
Corey, thank you so much for all that info and all that you do. Another reminder to purchase your raffle ticket. If you might want something from Mayberry, put something in the chat. Don might be willing to part with one of his treasured items. Who knows? Come on, get creative out there. All right, next up, please meet FT6's very own fundraising expert and political talent booker, the amazing Mia Pfeiffer.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. And hi, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. As the fundraiser here, I could talk about how to give money and how to help us raise money all night long. I won't do that right now, but I'll put my contact info in the chat when I'm done here, and everybody can reach out to me if you've got some grand ideas to really help us blow our fundraising up so that we can really make an impact in the 2022 midterms. I will note though that tonight we were hopeful to hit 2,500 during this event, and we're really close. We have gotten some great contributions from Sam McKay, Mary Gill, Don Foster, Eric Gilliland, Jeff Seelath. If everybody could keep that going, we're going to hit our goal for tonight, and that will make everything with like the cherry on top at the end of the event. So thank you so much. Keep sending in those dollars.
Oh yeah, Jason picks it up from Mia. There we go.
Nicely done.
Just seamless. Never even noticed.
Keep talking fundraising, I'll do it.
I just go into a fundraising trance. Thank you so much, Mia. You're awesome. And yes, now it's time to shout out the volunteer of the month. Can I please have some musical suspense here?
The most beautiful sound I ever heard. Field Team 6 Volunteer of the Month. Okay.
Is Jody Johnson. Thank you so much, Jody. Mia brought Jody in, and Jody has been incredible in helping us expand into Texas and just expand our operation. She's putting everything into it. Thank you so much, Jody. And she's so down for the cause. She's on this call twice. Wow. Thank you, Jody. Do you have a speech that's 15 seconds or less?
Not really. I was in the middle of trying to make another donation when you said that, so I don't really have anything. I'm like doing work and multitasking, but anyway, woohoo. Thank you.
Thank you. Seriously, thank you for everything you're doing. We could not appreciate it more. Okay, so now this has been months in the making. Tossing it to Zoe to announce the raffle winner.
Thank you, Jason. And thank you, Jody, for all that you do. All right, now is the time. I take my cue from our very own Dale, who picks our raffle winner.
Unprepared, completely unprepared.
That's all right. That's kind of the theme of the night. I think it's a little fly by the seat of your pants. We're figuring it out. It's been a minute since we've had one of these fundraisers, but
I've got it.
It still goes great.
I've got it. It's
Dale.
Mary McVeigh Gill.
Oh my gosh, Mary McVeigh Gill. Oh, you are winning these Chucks, a Field Team 6 shirt, and our undying love and devotion. Thank you so much for entering our raffle. Thank you to all the people who entered our raffle. Don't worry, for all of the events upcoming, we will have more cool raffle prizes. There will always be a reason to get your raffle tickets. And Mary, who should we hook Mary up with so she can give her details in a secure and private setting?
If she wants to just direct message me in the chat, her email address, we'll take care of it from there.
All right, Mary, those are your instructions. Godspeed. All right.
And
Y'all,
don't let Eric Gilliland talk you out of one of the tennis shoes. Just-
he's gonna get a piece of Mayberry, piece of young Sheldon, a piece of who knows what. I mean, listen, guys, there's Miss Annie Potts on here. Ghostbusters, anybody? Designing women, am I right? All right, y'all, this has been incredible. We have so many people to thank, and the person who can probably do that the best is our very own Jason. Jason, would you like to do the honors?
I would love it. Yes, I want to thank State Senator and North Carolina's next Democratic Senator, Jeff Jackson, for being here. Thank you so much. Henderson County Democratic Party Vice Chair Michelle Antelec for being here. Thank you, amazing, hilarious star of Scandal and Promised Land coming soon, Bellamy Young. You're amazing. Thank you to Master Mixologist Alex Sajomo for that cherry bounce that I need to buy ingredients for. I need to make that a lot of times. Thank you so much to Kala and Janet and our events team for making this run. Thank you to world-class master whistler, Eric Gilliland. Amazing.
Yeah.
This is all I can do. All I can whistle is, that's it. That's all I got.
I have notes on your whistle. You have one note.
I need to do an internship. And thank you so much to our gracious and hilarious and generous hosts, Jeff and Zoe Perry, Don Foster, Gab Taraboulsy. Thank you to Dale Roy Robinson. And thanks to every one of you on this call for being part of Field Team 6 and for joining this most important fight there is to save the Senate, save the House, and save our democracy in less than 1 year. Next November, let's flip North Carolina bluer than the Blue Devils. Let's go.
Let's also thank Alex for the drink.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
all of our volunteers and donors. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yay.
Have a great night, everybody.
thanks everyone.
Thank you for being with us.
Go Field Team 6.
Thanks, Bellamy.
Bye.